Appreciate you guys. Sorry, joint practice gets over. There's a lot of familiar faces on both sides, so spending some time with some folks. I'm a big fan of so many folks in the New England Patriots organization, and from Robert Kraft and the Kraft family all the way down to obviously their head coach. Really appreciate Coach Vrabel on his birthday today. Happy 50th birthday to Mike. He's a good friend of mine, and I mentioned it when we got this thing started before the work that there was a reason why the Patriots were here, and now that it's concluded, I feel great about the work we were able to get in. I think both teams accomplished a lot of things in these 2 days, and wish them nothing but the best moving forward. And we'll have a competitive game on Saturday and move on with our process of leading into the season. Just a couple injury notes there. Josh Metellus towards the end of the 2-minute, just a little shoulder. He'll be evaluated. I'll update you guys on that. And then Jalen Naylor kind of jammed his hand at one point. We wanted to be smart with that. We'll evaluate him and see what that looks like. But thought for 2 days of joint work to come back, our team had a good look in their eyes today of wanting to really accomplish a lot of things. I thought the offense did a lot of really good things. I thought it was a really impactful day in the red zone, and then some second down into some third downs again for 2 days in a row. And then the 2-minute finding Jay there to start the whole thing off was really positive. So a lot that we'll correct, a lot we'll go into meetings here in a little bit and make sure we dive into this tape the right way and get ready to play a game on Saturday.
What did JJ show you, especially today where he had the sequence where he completed 12 or 13 passes in a row?
See, this is the one time it's good that you guys were keeping some stats. I did not know that. I just. I'm being serious right now. You're the first ones to tell me that. It felt like, I thought JJ had a really good day yesterday, responding to, there's a lot of looks unscouted looks, some things that if you just watch their first preseason game or you go back and watch Vrabes previously before that in Tennessee, you can have some ideas, but I felt like we came back today with a really good plan, and we were able to do some things that we would do, in a regular season, game planning an opponent, trying to do some things that make sense from a rhythm, timing, spacing standpoint. But that's all on the players to then absorb that, and specifically JJ. To go out there and execute the way he did. It felt decisive. It felt incredibly, incredible amount of conviction to some of the decisions he made, location of the football, and a lot to build on. Obviously, we're still, really a little over halfway through, but, another checkpoint for us as a team, and I'm really proud of the work the guys put in. And like I said, far from perfect, it never is. But joint practice gives you the chance to see some game-like situations and feel and tempo without, some of the game-like, negatives that can come out from an injury standpoint. And that's because we practice against a team that knows how to practice.
You mentioned location. Is that the best he's thrown the ball since camp began?
Yeah, I think, everything happens faster in the red zone. So I think there's going to be some, throws where maybe you got to squeeze it in a window, put it away from a defender one way or the other. But then there was also some throws where he threw it up and over, some guys and found the open grass, with the ability to throw the football in some different ways. All things we've been working on, all things he's talented and capable of doing. But to do it in this setting should give him some confidence moving forward. But at the same time, we got to, put this in a a little box of what it was and understand how much more the moment will be, when we open up on Monday night. But certainly a great chance to at least reflect on, can I go out and do my job and do it with a purpose and a plan, and then let my talent kind of take it from there. And I thought it kind of that, and I thought we were physical in the run game. I thought some of the runs in the red zone period, field shrinks, safety start showing up in the alley a little faster. I love the way we got off the rock and kind of met day 2 of joint practice the right way and did it in a clean way and just kind of got our work in.
When it comes to JJ, like just big picture thinking, What do you want to see out of him this training camp to feel good about where he's at going into the regular season?
I think if you try to, you can definitely have emphasis on things throughout. I obviously put together the practices, so I understand maybe where those kind of inflection points will be in the day where you don't want to overcoach him because you want to see some natural reaction, but at the same time you want to prepare him in many ways like you'll try to do when it becomes real. So it's a good mix of both. It's how he reacts in some moments. What are his, we talk a lot about, fast feet, fast eyes, fast feet, but ultimate conviction when the ball leaves your hands. And it's something that's an acquired thing. Look, I'm well aware of the eyes on a guy that maybe didn't get a lot of the visual work for everybody, but I operate under the pretense of a lot of confidence that if we coach things and we have the right kind of guys and we emphasize the right things, that the results will come. But I truly live every day of my life process oriented and driven, and especially coaching that way. So I understand there's going to be some things that people want to see immediately. There's going to be things that the reactions will be, justified because it's the National Football League and the expectations on all of us, me included, me mostly, hopefully. But we're just going to keep coaching and ask our players to keep getting better every single day. Prepare in a way where we've put a lot of thought into how we prepare our team, both myself and Flo and Matt Daniels and Wes Phillips. And then we communicate that to the players and demand a level of ownership and accountability to kind of continue to press forward and onward. That's kind of where we're at right now. I mean, there's some things that we absolutely need to continue to fix and correct and grow as a football team as we start to get more competitive ops, against other teams here, 2 more preseason games, and then ultimately we'll find out exactly where we're at, and that will just be the kickoff to our season. And we got to learn how to continue to get better at getting better and improve throughout the season and try to be worthy of the moment if we're, able to earn opportunities beyond that.
JJ will not play Saturday, correct?
JJ will not play Saturday. Yeah, Sam will start the game.
Besides Sam, like Brett and Max, is Max maybe going to see a little bit more time based on how he's done?
Yeah, I think he's earned it. But at the same time, I think Sam and Rip did some really good things and have. I think, when you look back to the game last week, I think Rip is, we had a chance on a go ball down the sideline to Jay Sean and just competitive NFL play. I thought he threw a great ball, and does his day look totally different, in the box score if that catch is made there, and then what plays ultimately come off of that. So we have a plan in place that all 3 of those guys will play, but I absolutely, having been a victim of the clock before, being told what my day would look like as a player, and then it did not look like that. So I want to be aware of, that all 3 will play. They'll know kind of the general plan. I think it's important to articulate that, help guys get ready to play, but then we got to be ready to adjust as the game comes to us.
Kevin, what do you see from the pass rush in the 2-minute?
Yeah.
What is your standard for that group, the front 7?
Yeah, I think my standard is when we compete, that should be a leading presence of our football team. I thought, Dallas showed up. JG had, a phenomenal day yesterday. I haven't seen anything more than just those drills as of right now, but go in and watch the tape, and I feel really good about the interior. I think you've felt, obviously, Grave and J.A., but it's been some of those other guys too, all 4 of those other guys that really are in that rotation. And then we've got, I know I talked about him, but Eli, a guy that came to rookie minicamp on a tryout basis and continues to show up and make plays. And some of those guys are going to get a lot of snaps on Saturday, and I can't wait to watch them play.
Kind of a weird off-topic one for you, but I'm doing a story on the play sheets that coaches use.
Yeah.
How you kind of organize it, how you figure out what works for you, color coding by play, how many plays.
Are you talking about the copy that everybody else gets or my copy?
Your personal. Like,
I'm just kidding.
And like, are you a guy that writes notes to yourself? Like, be aggressive here, circle this, but like, how do you even?
No, I think for me, it's always been. If you guys got the time, I mean, this could be a long answer, but I'll try to keep it as tight as I can, and you guys know that's a chore for me. But really, it's a matter of, understanding it's a living, breathing thing, and you want to be able to understand going into a game, have total ownership of what's on that paper, because if you're asking your players to do it, you sure as heck better do it as a play caller. But then, yeah, there's a lot of things that don't end up on that call sheet till they're in ink, especially some of the priority calls early in games. I've talked about kind of how I normally handle that as far as, the dreaded first 15 or the openers and things like that. But I think there's got to be a purpose and a plan for everything on that sheet. And I think from a standpoint of how you set it up from a run game, early down passes, from play pass to keepers to movements to screens to select group of drop back pass that you feel, your tempo, how you're going to use the 2-minute phase, the huddle calls from the sheet in the 2-minute phase, third down in the different sections, and then maybe as the game comes to you, how those sections could morph into some different calls that you're making adjustments to on the sidelines, and then the red zone's the same way, and then situationally, whether it's short yardage, end of game situations, all those things, they live on the call sheet, but they better live in the huddle via the headset from me to the quarterback at some point, and do it in a really timely, manner that provides nothing but poise and composure to the group. Because long ago, this league decided that I need to keep my butt on the sidelines, and that's where I'll stay.
Last couple. As far as the depth wide receivers, we saw Thayer getting more opportunities today. Just what did you think of how they performed with more opportunities?
Yeah, I felt like Thayer showed up to me. I think Lucky showed up. I think we had a chance in the 2-minute to maybe end the drive on the first play there with Ty down the sideline on a double move, and didn't get the call. I don't know if you can be fined for critiquing joint practice officials, so I'll just hold off on that. But thought it was a competitive play, and but some detail showed up from those guys, and thought across the board, threw a lot at them today, and they handled it well.
Kevin, it's not ideal for JJ to have missed his rookie season. But now that you've got to see him in the second training camp, how do you think that has benefited him?
Yeah, I think it was not a totally lost year. We got a lot of things done from a standpoint of trying to have him in a place to have a good training camp this year. That was both the season last year leading into the off-season time where he totally committed to getting healthy and being ready to go when the off-season program started. And then he's kind of carried that throughout the summer on into training camp where he's just been intentional about every day. We're trying to allow him to grow within the system, stress him at times and install and stress our whole group while also making sure we're keeping tabs on where he's at as we keep the arrow up and just growth every single day and maximize the time that we have. And he's doing a great job.
What would you say is the number one trait in your mind of all good quarterbacks, backup quarterbacks have? Top three that you look for in a backup?
In a backup, yeah. I think first and foremost, they have to be guys that can have ownership of the plan without having taken reps. All the reps, if there's a few that don't go to the starter, you can count them on one hand in a normal practice week. Once you get to that game week, especially when you've got a young quarterback. So you're looking for somebody that can be in the meetings, take the coaching points, maybe take reps. They don't get the reps, but you might see the quarterbacks behind. I found it interesting on both fields watching the tape. You see Josh Dobbs and you see our three quarterbacks maybe taking pseudo taking the drops and kind of envisioning taking the rep of the play based upon the look. You see it sometimes in the background of the film, and it's the things you need to see to know that in the moment you're going to go out there and you're going to be called upon to execute a third down. We saw Nick Mullins last year go in the game. His first 2 snaps of the season, I think, were third downs that he converted both times on throwing the ball to Aaron Jones on some third down, weighty down situations. But we need, if you're going to be a quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings, you need to be able to maximize the meeting room, the walkthroughs, the reps, whether you're taking them or not, because ultimately we want guys that can step in and execute the game plan that week and do it with confidence. They wouldn't be here if we weren't confident in them. And ultimately we want the football team to feel like no matter what, we're going to do the things at that position in the confines of our offense to win a game.
Last one, Chad. About the coaching film department and how they set the stage for you guys getting ready each week?
Our film guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can see every single one of the poles that are kind of permanently up around the fields. We're getting as much angles and footage as possible, but then the way they can turn that over and make it nuanced to allow us to teach at a really high level. I've got great coaches, but we need the film on a daily, minute-to-minute basis to articulate coaching points, and there's no greater way to coach off the tape than seeing yourself on the video from different end zone, shots, sideline shots. You guys have seen it. We've got the video on the field in real time for some immediate feedback that happens, and all that's coordinated by our video staff. They do a phenomenal job. Nick's been phenomenal since I got here. We have a great staff that supports him, and we couldn't do what we do without them. And that's practices, games, the way we play a game, and then I can be watching the film on the bus ride to the airport after the game. Every moment matters for me personally throughout the season as a head coach, trying to call plays and lead the team and be able to have total awareness of our whole team. So I need every moment, and they allow me to do that.
Thank you. We'll have JJ up next.